my learning objectives and how I met them real. The first one was how I could collaborate with ideas during my internship. So when I was in the front office, they didn't work in such a good flow. So I told them how to get better with routines and everything that I got in previous internships in my life. And actually, these days they're applying it. One of the ideas was to add quick tabs in the system that we were using. That could be really helpful for just not the reception, but also for the housekeeping when they needed to go and check the list and everything. The second one was that I wanted to be a valuable member of Norlandia Hotel Groups and to understand the concept. This learning objective was one of the most difficult ones because Norlandia Hotel Group is kind of a big chain in Scandinavia. And to understand the concept, you will need to have a good perspective of how they work in Norway, Sweden, and overall. But after a few meetings with my manager and his manager, I could get a reasonable understanding of it and also put some ideas in the meetings that I had with them. But that point I'm going to talk about a little bit later. And third point, I want to be able to work alone and show my knowledge. And I needed to do that for around 2 weeks in both front office and F&B. In the front office was during the afternoon pass, so I needed to check in a lot of recurrent guests with membership and everything. And during F&B, I needed to take care from the beginning to the start alone the whole restaurant. Both of these were almost at the end of my internship and were quite a success because I didn't got any complaints and I got a good review from my manager at the end of it. So I'm kind of happy with my work. And now to the fourth point. I wanted to be part of general meetings with the managers, and I could do that in 3 occasions because my internship was not just in front office or F&B. It was in front office, housekeeping, F&B, with administrative director and with the director of the hotel. When I was with the director of the hotel, I needed to have a meeting with him and with his manager. So in this meeting, I gave some ideas that could be really useful for the summer because that's the high peak of Kalmar in Sweden when all the hotels are full and everything to maximize the revenues that we could get. It took just 2 weeks to start the procedure of everything, and I was in charge with it together with the other F&B manager. We got around a 65% better revenues than the last year each day. So my managers was really happy with my development in the company and everything. And they even offered me an opportunity to work for them. But not yet. So I think I'm really happy with how my objectives in this internship went. And I think I put quite high pressure on me to succeed them, and I did it. Every day I wanted to learn more and more and more, and they were kind of happy with that. Even some days they were just tired of me because I didn't stop. But that's the point of an internship, I guess. So in this part of the video, I'm gonna talk about cross-culture miscommunication that happen almost every day between two in the staff in the housekeeping department. One of them, I have lived in Sweden for around 17 years, and the other one since the last summer, 2017. So they didn't speak so much in Swedish. They tried with English, but that didn't go so well. They come from different cultures, so every time they said something or did a body language that was normal for them, it was not for the other one. So it came to a point where they almost got into a fight because of this. And even if the manager knew about the situation, she just let it be and tried them to solve the problems with each other instead of acting, something that I didn't find so good for a manager, but I didn't say anything. At the end, when the fight got, but the almost fight got. We had a general meeting, all the staff talking about how to respect each other, how to talk with each other, and that we are in a culture that is the Swedish one, and we should try to keep at least at workplace with that one. I don't find that solution kind of good because at the end it's in the subconscious how you act and how you interact with other people, especially at work when you don't know them so well because you just see them maybe in total 3 hours a day and not every single day. And for someone that has just come to Sweden as was the part of mm, one of the girls, trying to them to get to the Swedish culture already at workplace is not a peculiar way to solve them. So instead of acting like that, we should try to stop the problem from the beginning. I took both of them in a room and make them talk to actually put the limits in how the body language works in their respective culture and what words they can say and not. And also that because there were three from the same culture at work and there was the new one. So when they were together, they usually spoke in their language, in Armenian, and that just made the situation even more difficult because the new one felt that she was stepping aside, didn't want to speak with her and everything. So she was always in a quite defensive position. And I said, this one together with miscommunication in body language made just huge problems for the hotel, for the staff, and not just in the housekeeping department. It even came to the reception because if the housekeeper had problems, the reception had them too. So at the end of the summer, the situation was more calm. They even spoke with each other at lunch, at breakfast. So at the end, they took their difficulties apart and just focused on the task that was to clean the rooms without problems and finish it as fast as possible. So that's it. I think I learned a lot from this. I also think that from experiencing the hotel, I've learned how not to do a lot of things because that's what I got mostly from this internship. The management had few problems with everything, so I learned how to not manage a hotel from the background. They stepped too many things on the side. They didn't focus too much on the staff. They just focused on the revenues, and that created a lot of conflicts during my internship. Just not between the housekeeping, as I said, but also in F&B and reception. So it was tense in quite a few months. But yeah, I learned a lot thanks to that because the best way to learn is not by doing something well, is by doing something bad and try to get situations of how to solve them. So I'm kind of grateful that I chose this place and not a hotel that work 100% well because that would just be a flow and I have not learned anything more than I already know. And that's it for me.